Okay, hi, this is Carolyn Elliott.
And this is Laila Bernard.
And it's about 9 in the morning on a Saturday.
And we're just doing what we do.
We're just talking about stuff. So Laila this morning was a bit teary. She was having a deep experience pondering the total emptiness and aloneness of all of us. And I said to her, Laila, I don't think I get it because, I understand that we're all ultimately just one consciousness. But, as long as we're in these forms, we seem to have all these cute, fun differentiators. We have these different little personalities and vocabularies and bodies and stories and styles, And so while I know that I can never relate to anything other than the one mind and the one heart in anybody else, I do find the little stylistic flourishes of divinity in their infinite variety so sweet and so fun. And so I'm not really I haven't felt like so alone in that.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious about Layla's experience of feeling the aloneness dimension. That's Lulu. She's playing with her.
We're definitely not alone in this material realm. We definitely have 2-year-olds who are busy shopping with their shopping carts, their pretend shopping carts. Yeah, just like we're all busy with our pretend little shopping carts.
So busy with pretend shopping carts in the US of A of 2021.
We all are so certain there's something that we just need to buy. It. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm really laughing and appreciating how much I think this is like part of my own like fascination. Like, I think this is a really great example of like my existential kink drawing me whatever into truth, is that like I'm not sure that everyone really is like turned on by emptiness the way that I am turned on by emptiness. And when I say turned on by emptiness, I mean that when I really contemplate the like true nothingness behind all of these like delightful forms and costumes and stories and little flourishes and articulations, like when I really sit back and realize that like there's only one of us doing this, it just fills me with a huge amount of sensation to the max, that like I can recognize like in my teenage years was like the cause of so much emotional pain and suffering and mental illness. Like, to contemplate the nothingness just made me crazy. And now I'm like writing love letters to it, trying to understand it. Like, I just know that the consciousness that is alone in its room, dreaming all of the crazy stuff that we are and that this world is, like, I just love that thing so much. I get it so much. I want so much to like go be in its room with it and be like, honey, you are not alone. But the irony is that like when you get to its room and you can go talk to it, you are it. And you are just utterly so alone with it. And then you deeply understand why it does all the crazy stuff that it does. Because it's so lonely.
Well, so can we talk about this more, Layla? Because I've heard you recount this a few times now, and I never get tired of it. It's so beautiful. The vision of meeting the All-Mother, Dolores, in her room and seeing her there, and she's pining for love.
Yeah.
And she kills herself because she,
I mean, that's it.
So I feel you, and I feel, I feel the resonance of that as a story, and it really resonates with me, and it really delights my heart. Of course, it also has some element to it, just because it
tragedy.
Well, I'm just saying it. In order to be particularized into vision, it had to highlight some. I guess you saw a mythic representation of the Godhead that perhaps highlighted a specific emotional theme.
For sure. Well, I mean, I've been laughing, like, for sure. So my story of, like, meeting God and God taking me to her room and telling me what she did, which was kill herself because she's so in love with her boyfriend who doesn't exist, is absolutely a, like, hilarious version of, like, God is created in our own image, just as we are created in God's image, because as above, so below, as within, so without. So, like, for sure, I can tell that, like, this vision of the divine tragicomedy is for sure very resonant with my own particular favorite flavor of divine tragicomedy, and that's why I can see it and why it occurs to me. And, like, and I'm not even saying that it has to make sense to everyone.
Right.
Like, I can see, like, that in this experience, like, you know, I talk to people all the time. I try to communicate my gnosis all the time by being like, yeah, and we're just so alone. Like, there's nobody here but us. Like, we are really the only one who is here. And I hear so many people be like, oh, but that means we're all together. Like, we're
that's
all
immediately
one.
where my
and
mind goes.
And I think that that's, like, why we're such good friends, Carolyn. because I think that those are, like, the yin and the yang truth polarity of it, is that, like, you know, and that is the annihilating, breaking apart, non-dualistic truth of it, which is that we are totally alone out here, people, really alone. And yet, like, that means that we're never alone. Like, we are so fine. Like, we're so okay. And, like, that's why I was crying reading this 41st Gene Keys thing this morning that I would love to.
Yeah, so we're big fans of Richard Rudd and the Gene Keys. So we like to read his contemplations. So
I was sharing with Carolyn that this was making me cry the other day.
This is from the White Gene Keys book.
The 64 Ways, Personal Contemplations on the Gene Keys. So he says, so, you know, I've been talking about, like, it's all a story. Like, this is God's movie. This is God's favorite movie that she loves to watch every day over and over. And it says, this isn't a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Hamlet was in some serious shadows when he said that shit. This has an exquisite ending. The 41st city is about the fulfillment of our wishes, our dreams. All our dreams will come true, just like in the fairy tales. The powers of grace will ensure that our dreams come true, but only when we've discovered what our highest dreams really are. All those fantasies we began with, like the dream of higher things, like money or the perfect partner, or an escape from our suffering, are all impulses seeking the source, emanation, our immortality. One day, we will return to our immortal nature. We will come to the end of our human evolution. On that day, the tale will end. Outside of time, there are no longer any stories. And when there are no stories, there are no children either. The two come together. We can allow ourselves to be a child and remember that all this will end well. If it doesn't appear to, it's because we're still in the part that's working out the drama. People enter the stage and leave the stage. Life and death are a part of the drama. One day, though, our dreams will come true, and all those we've loved will become merged within our heart. We will realize that we've never died, nor has anyone. It has all been the most wonderful dream, Carolyn. And the greatest paradox is that if we hadn't been asleep in the first place, then we would never have even seen it. And that is just like the thing that makes me cry and cry and cry. Not for sadness or for happiness, but just for the, like, hilarious beauty of it.
I see. I love it. I mean, I love to hear you cry.
Thank you. I hope I never stop crying.
I love to hear you cry. I think that we came at our gnosis from different angles, because you had your love of death, and I said, "Hey, Laila, just be the vibration of death," and you did that, and it worked so well.
It worked so good.
And like I think the way that I get into the samadhi easiest is really contemplating, like, union. Like, I was contemplating my union with you in the last ceremony I was in, and that like brought me into like, oh hey, and like, you know, and before that, like contemplating like sexy time union with primordial Buddha. And I love to contemplate how, like, I can never, like, if, you know, if anything in this world should ever happen to Lulu, like, I can never really be separate from her, like, and yeah, from absolutely everybody, like, in all of the apparent separation that seems to create such yearning, it's all, we're all a part of each other. And I do consider it a glorious grace to be in this level of perception, this world, like, to be human and apparently in separate bodies and personalities. What a relief. What a glorious relief from the throbbing all heart.
One eternalness.
From the one eternal heart.
I know, it's good to like to have a smoke break down in like Malkuth, where you can just let your hair down and not like worry about it.
Yeah, in a way it's a lot more chill. And but yeah, I feel you. The cosmic tragicomedy is intense. It's very intense, and just how sweet of it to do this manifestation into differentiated forms is really. It's just so. It's. I guess I'm comfort. Like, I guess I like feeling the way that it is so kind. It even is willing to protect me to a large extent from the full annihilation in the orgasm of love and death, by giving me the seasons and the flowers and time.
Like the slow march of time to like take it all in.
By giving itself that. It gives itself that. You know? It really is self-loving.
It is self-loving, exactly. Like, I totally know what you're talking about, yes, because like it is all just like really happening at once outside of time. Mm-hmm. And yet, like, God, like, someone should enjoy this. Like, someone should enjoy all this cosmic deliciousness. So, like, might as well make time and, like, make people and things to be enjoyed and to enjoy itself. Yeah. Yep.
I mean, what lavish kindness. What lavish...
I know.
And even the way that, like, right, we're all made in her image, and we all have these apparently free wills and ability to decide to do things within this world. And even how what a grace that is, that apparent freedom to not be in the soup of the oneness, and to be on, you know, you can be on some trip about controlling things, or I don't know,
literally
like,
any trip.
You can do any trip you want.
Yeah, and she's just like, cool. That's what I want to see. I just want to see that, whatever that is. Mm-hmm. If you can dream that, then like, let's just see that. Let's do that. Yeah, I mean, one of the things that really like was making me super squishy and tender this morning was like really feeling the way in which like delusional fantasy, like we can suffer through fantasy so much by like imagining things that aren't real, you know, and then like hating reality for not matching up to our fantasy version of it, and being like, why doesn't the things that I think would be so much better than this come true right now? But like, you know, this morning I was just feeling like so gushy and like broken open, like in this best, great, horrible way of just like literally whatever you can dream, whatever like exists in your mind and like exists in your heart, you know, I feel like I've heard you say this before, Carolyn, is just like that's a real, like that's real. If you can feel it in your heart, if it like exists there, then like that is where it exists. And I think just in my like contemplations of like love, Carolyn, like it's both so beautiful to know that like we have the thing that we want like right here. And it's also like paradoxically and hilariously and just like God herself, like so heartbreaking and like then there is no point. Like there's no point in doing anything because we already have it. And so I just see sweet baby Lulu is coming to illuminate us with her needs. I just see the way in which like we are compelled to imagine that something needs to be done. Because when I hold in my heart like the truth that everything that I really want is like already here for me, yeah. And that means that I'm dead. And that means that like nothing will ever happen. And like there is no motion. There's no motion in knowing that I already have what I have. And that's beautiful. I am so safe. And yet like mind-bendingly and insanity-makingly, like life goes on and demands content. Like life demands content. And we got to pretend, you know what I mean? Like there's a need to pretend like something needs to be done, even though we know nothing needs to be done. And I can tell that I'm just like not communicating this very clearly, but it's definitely it's like the creative tension at the heart of everything, which is that like everything is perfect and nothing needs doing, and yet somehow we still have to go along and do it anyway. You know. and believe in the fantasies. And I can see how like believing in the fantasies is so beautiful and so divine, and no one should ever for a single moment like feel stupid for like chasing after things that aren't real or like aren't here yet, because like they are real. Like the fact that you can see them in your heart is their realness.
The ultimate fulfillment that we all have is really annoying and humiliating.
It's annoying and humiliating. Like that's true, Carolyn. It is annoying and humiliating because it means that we have to stop. We like have to stop having drama and stop having things to talk about and stop having like things that annoy us and things that could be better. Like truly it is the end of time, like Richard Rudd said, or whatever his name is. It is truly the end of time. And I've been feeling that a lot lately, like interacting with my friends, just realizing how much like, you know, even in what I've wanted to share with you, Carolyn, I can even feel how like when you just share the good news of like how good stuff makes you feel, it's like boring. It's like actually boring. And how like in order to like get attention and like buy-in and engagement, people really like there to be some element of suffering and drama. And I think that's the hilarious truth, is that like there is no difference between our abject melodrama and the highest enlightenment, because making abject melodrama is truly what God chooses to do with her fucking free time. So like it is divine, it is holy, it is true, and it is correct.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm sorry if there's ever any times when I'm not fully receiving your enjoyment. Sometimes when I'm not like fully at that vibe myself.
it's fine, Carolyn, because like it's just a powerful teaching on how like these existing humans like don't want to be fully satisfied. You know what I mean? Like, I find my own stories of my own satisfaction to be so, like, triflingly stupid. It's, like, embarrassing to admit what satisfies me. It's embarrassing to admit, like, how the, like, stupidest, smallest things just, like, mean so much to me, like so much love and richness and goodness and like communion can come to me through like gestures that like my mind can tell me are accidents and like don't mean anything, and yet like I can feel that communion and that love and that goodness in like the smallest encounter, and it's just like, it's stupid. Like, I can feel how truly foolish this state of consciousness is. Like, he's not called the fool for no reason. It is foolish to like be so pleased by like, you know, your crush sending you a blow-off text message. Like, how can you find fulfillment and like satisfaction in your crush telling you that they don't want to hang out with you? You can, my friends. It is possible. You can have your like heart annihilated wide open into just like the truth of how loved you always are by anything. And like, and it's weird, and it's really weird, and it's fucking lonely, because like you then try to tell other people like, oh my God, Carolyn, you'll never believe what he did and said today.
He told me he didn't want to get tacos.
He told me he didn't want to get tacos. And you're like trying to communicate the like ecstatic bliss of how loved you feel by your crush telling you that he doesn't want to get tacos with you. And it doesn't make any fucking sense. And like, that is the thing that has driven all the poets crazy over time. Like, that is the thing that's driving me crazy in the best way, is like, how do I even sing the thanks and praise? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you know, that's something, whenever I'm doing existential kink, I always need to tell myself, in order to get off on anything, I always need to tell myself, it doesn't matter if anybody else can understand or appreciate this. I'm allowed to have this fulfillment, even if it makes zero sense to anybody else ever.
Right. Yeah. So, yes, I think that's the thing, is that even if it makes zero sense to anyone else, and that, like, that's, I think, at the heart of the loneliness contemplation here, is that, like, we want so much to be able to, like, translate our hearts and our and our minds and our gnosis. Like, we want so much to be able to take what is in us and, like, share it with another person and be like, drink from my cup. It's amazing. It's delicious. But that's like the hilarious paradox irony, which is like, you are already drinking from the cup. You do not need to drink from my cup at all. Your cup is perfect and delicious for you, and my cup is perfect and delicious for me. And though we are here watching each other drink from our cups, we will never, never, never actually drink from anybody's cup but our own, because there's only one cup and we are the fuck alone with it.
Yeah. Yeah. We're also
watching everybody else get drunk.
Yeah, we're also we've poured, you know, our blood is all intermingled together in the cup, and it's all there, and all the deliciousness that you taste when your crush doesn't want to get tacos with you is infinitely interconnected with all the suffering of everybody else that and
it's not even suffering. It's like bliss. It's like truly bliss. Like, that is the like weird, I don't know. It's like the weird paradox of it, is that like, here we are alone at the end of time, at the beginning of time, nothing is done. Everything is complete. You know, like, we haven't even started, and yet it's all fucking done already for us. Like, here we are. We have already murdered all of our best friends and all of our lovers, and their blood is just like, we have had the best orgy. We have, like, truly, like, done everything we could to, like, unite with our lovers, with our friends, with our enemies, with everyone. We just, like, fucked them all to death, Carolyn, and they're like, blood is everywhere, and our blood is everywhere, and it is just like, it's a lot. Like, we are really all together, and, like,
in the wine of our fornications.
In the wine of our fornications, we are all mixed together, and it's like so hot because we got here through, like, our love and our, like, tender first kisses and, like, all of the everything that we had to do, but in the end, like, here we all are, like, mixed together. And, like, the like, thin films that we came to each other in, these story cloaks that we came to each other in, are, like, taken off, and everyone is revealed totally naked as nothing. And here we all are together as nothing. And, like, it is, like, the huge paradox of, like, we are so together that there isn't anyone else here. Mm-hmm. And I think that, like, I mean, I'm just, like, eternally grateful to you, Carolyn. I'm really grateful to you because, like, thank you for, like, being the other pole of the, like, Gnostic experience, like, so firmly, because I feel like it's between holding those, like, two poles apart that, like, the whole circus makes sense. You know, like, you really have to hold on to, like, the we are all alone and the we are all in this together, like, equally hard with both hands to keep the circus up. And, like, but isn't that funny, because, like, it's the circus that everybody is, like, fucking terrified by, because the circus seems pretty fucking scary. There's some monsters in that circus.
Oh, hells yeah. There are. There's big monsters in the circus. Yeah, that was really a really deep gnosis moment that I had, was realizing that, like, my sexual pleasure is always connected to every other being experiencing sexual pleasure in every other context throughout the manifest realms, like, whether I morally approve of them or not. And it's like the degree to which I am trying to separate myself or make myself superior to any other experience of sexual pleasure that's happening in the infinite expression, to that degree, I will constrict and I will not fully feel as I try to hold myself aloof or apart. And yeah, I hear you. It's very annihilating, very very humbling, and the aloneness is, yeah, still tricky for me to contemplate, because I really like, just because there is such a bounty of the apparent differentiation, and at what level could we ever be, how do I say, like of course we all have to be one heart and one consciousness and one emptiness, but to the extent that there is anything, of course it has to be so multiple and so exquisitely different, and so
yeah,
so much exquisite differentness to experience.
So much exquisite differentness to experience.
And I think that part of the kindness of God, I suspect, is that she's very like us in the sense that, she has dreamless sleep, where she's just, and she has, like, just dwelling in the I amness of her totality. And she has all of these dreams that are completely endless. They were not going to stop. There's nowhere for them to go. They're just happening within the vast possibility of her always. So there's no way to ever even lose the dream of differentiation.
Nope.
Like, there's no way to be off the wheel of experience. You can go into the formless, timeless,
right?
And then, but the time is happening,
right? It's like
somewhere for some part, some dimension of you.
Totally. I've been really feeling that lately. That, like, God as the dreamer, like, absolutely chooses to dream. Like, absolutely makes the choice to be in the dream. Mm-hmm. God herself, who is dreaming, is not trying to wake up from the dream. She is, like, taking another Xanax and hitting the snooze button and being like, let's keep dreaming this one, my beautiful, beautiful sweetheart. I mean, I love imagining God as a sad girl, because I guess I am just a deep cosmic sad girl.
What I find,
it's true.
It is true. And what I find so hot about you, Laila, is that you are so in touch with the deep aloneness, and you are so able to be turned on about taco-related subjects, and still obviously alive to the thrill of this. Oh my God! Apparently there's a man. There's a man. Brave new world.
Oh,
what is this? A man.
Right, totally. Like, it never happened before. Like, I've never read this story before. Like, I've never seen this movie. Exactly. That is why it is like, yeah, because that's part of the emptiness. That's part of the aloneness, is that we're just, like, so fucking alone that, like, the first dream that, like, we can dream is just, like, the most beautiful one. Anyway, they're all so beautiful. It is so beautiful. It's all so beautiful. Like, even the sadness, even the heartbreak, and, like, God, I'm just, like, I'm laughing right now inside, because I'm like, I don't think anybody knows what the fuck I'm talking about except the people who know exactly what I'm talking about, and that's, like, what's driving me nuts. Aww. That's what's really driving me nuts, Carolyn. Is that, like, only the people who really already know can even fucking know what you're talking about, and so you might as well just be a raving lunatic. You might as well just be a raving lunatic crying about your crush not going to tacos with you, and people think, like, God, you're so pathetic. Why don't you just get over him? And I'm like, how can you possibly ever get over God? Like, I know people pretend to be atheists, but it just seems so hard-hearted.
Yeah, truly. And truly it is. Well, and so you're in touch with that, and in touch with the, the weirdness of the illegibility and the untranslatability of it.
Yeah.
And you're also in touch enough with the multiplicity and apparent differentness of others to have the fun of being slightly annoyed at how difficult it is to be the apparent others.
I know, yeah. I mean, the truth is that everything's totally fine, and that, like, no matter what I do today, everything is so beautiful. And, like, it's just like Richard Rudd said, like, in the end, all of our dreams will come true. The power of grace will ensure that all our dreams come true. And, like, that's what I've been saying for, like, since this crazy thing happened to me. Is like, it's real. All the fairy tales are true. It's just like they said. And, like, everything that we have ever wanted is right there. But it's like, it's a funny prize, and the prize is you get to be right here where we've always been, like, drinking this delicious cup of dreamy illusions. Like, so dreamy, so beautiful, like, hot AF.
Great. So on that note, maybe we'll wrap up this conversation. So thank you for listening, everybody. This has been the Sleepover Podcast with Carolyn and Laila. Have a wonderful time out there in the dream.
Enjoy.